Hello, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net, and you're listening to a podcast on introduction and endings and other jazz guitar tips. So let's get going.
Welcome to Jazz Guitar Lessons, where we help guitarists learn jazz faster, express themselves more fluently, and have fun along the way. My name is Mark, and if you're looking to learn jazz, form better practice habits, and especially if you enjoy a French accent, make sure to subscribe.
All right, and welcome back to the podcast. So, as you guys might have known, this is my favorite form of content on the website. It's really fun. I just put the microphone there. I got my classical here, my nylon string guitar, and we're going to talk about how to improve your performances of standards, especially in a jazz style, with introductions, endings, and how to do that literally harmonically. So I'm going to show you a few tips on which chords to play actually to make intros sound good, and it does not have to be very complicated, but a little goes a long way when it comes to building introductions or even building arrangements, should I say. So just a personal anecdote, a quick teaching anecdote from the past month or so. I gave a workshop to actually a duo. It's a combo, guitar and trumpet, and we worked on a lot of standards they're working on, and you would be amazed at what sort of magic we can bring to their repertoire list, to their tunes, when we just take a minute to go, okay, what's your introduction? What is going to be the transition between the solos? What are you doing to finish it? Or else what you do, well, typically as beginners and even sometimes intermediates, guys will just look at the chart in the fake book and start playing and then stop playing when it's over and just repeat that. But doing a little bit of an intro, a little something can really put the people in the mood. So without further ado, I hope you were not expecting a lot of ados. I'm going to show you one of the tips. So let's say you are playing on a song such as Girl from Ipanema in F major. Right. One of the things people do typically is to alternate between two chords before the song starts. So in this case, the F major can go to a G flat of some sort, a G flat 7 or 13. So just that. Before the tune starts. You see, it's only 4 bars, but it really sets the mood. And you don't have to do this from anything that's written on a chart. You can just actually launch and say, if I play that chord, then that same chord half step up, or if I play a 1-5-1-5 of some sort, it's going to work well. I'll give you another example with a minor tune. Say you're playing a tune in D minor, such as Yesterday's. You know the song, right? Or it could be Alone Together, that is typically played in D minor. What I would do is play an A pedal, and that A is actually the 5 chord. And what you can do is you can really play around. Instead of playing a plain A13, you play a dark A, like 8, 7, flat 9, flat 13. Or whatever you know that's an altered A7, and you stick to it. And you do this for 4 or 8 bars, and you're just actually sitting on a 5 chord, and you're building tension for the people to they're expecting that head. So I'll play the full thing to give you a short version of what I would do on a gig. And I wouldn't even count in the tempo. I would just start playing, and people, my bandmates are stuck to figure out what I'm doing. Ready? See, this would be how you go from playing the introduction into the A section. And of course, guys, look at each other, say, okay, I'm going to play the head now, these sorts of things. So that's really the best thing, is to put something at first. Now I'm going to play the devil's advocate. You don't need to play an introduction. You can just go right in, because not every tune needs a setup. Case in point, if you're playing Solar, you just look at the guys like, you guys are ready? Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need to set it up. You don't always need to set it up, but sometimes it's nice, especially if you've never done these sorts of things. And now let me show you a sort of a variation to begin a tune, say in C major, and we'll play You Stepped Out of a Dream. You know this tune? You stepped out of a dream. Right? So it's a C chord at first. And what I would do if I were playing with a singer, probably do some kind of variation of 1, 6, 2, 5, or so 1, 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, 2. And you can do all these tritone subs and variations, and you can also play 3, 6, 2, 5. So 3, that's E minor 7. You stepped out of a dream. So 1, 6, 2, 5 or 3, 6, 2, 5, whether you do it in time or out of time, is in the cycle of fourths. It's really going to lead you into something interesting. So I'm going to do it in time. Say your tempo was a 1, something like this. 1, introduction. 2, 3, 4, then 2, right? And now we did 1, 6, 2, 5. Now I'm going to do 3, 6, 2, 5. So 3 is E minor 7 to A7, D minor 7, D7. 1, 2, 3, 4. You stepped out of a dream. Right, so something like that. It's just enough for the singer to know what key it's in, or the sax player to orient. It's like, oh, neat, little arrangement. All right, so far what we've talked about is starting the tune with a vamp of some sort on like 2 or 3 chords, and then 1, 6, 2, 5, or going straight into the tune without the intro. And last thing I want to talk about is starting at the B section to create some sort of an intro. And what I'll do is I'll use Autumn Leaves to demonstrate. So you all know Autumn Leaves, right? I'm going to play it in the key of... Oh yeah, one last thing about intros. By the way, if there is an introduction that's famous on the recording, then it's a good entry point. So we're talking about Autumn Leaves. Before I do this demo on starting with the bridge, I'm going to talk about this... I think I've put this on the website at some point in the past, right? It's a G minor 6, and that's a cannonball recording, and everyone knows that intro. So if you start playing that, people can immediately latch onto it because it's a G minor 6 sound. Everyone knows the recording, everyone knows the tune. So speaking of Autumn Leaves, what I'm going to do is start at this point that's halfway in the song, and I'm going to play it completely rubato and accompany myself sort of chord melody style. And that point is right, you know that part before. Then it goes, right? So what I'm gonna do is play that part from the middle, but accompany myself, and just maybe you tell the other guys on the disco, okay guys, I got it. I can take care of the introduction. Just follow my lead, and when you hear me go, it's time to play the head, all right? So let me demonstrate this quickly before we talk about endings. And here we go. You see how I led your ears, I led the people to, I played something slow, and then it's like, oh, we're expecting something to take off now, right? And you don't have to worry when you're playing rubato like this. You can really take your time, put a lot of space between your chords. I don't like to play anything too fancy, or else I know myself I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna play the wrong fingering or whatnot. So play what you know. Make sure the melody, you're leading the melody to a clear point, and you've got your intro made by not even using any other new material. You just use materials from the song, which is great because theme and variation. So you're still on the theme. You're still in that zone. It's very coherent with itself. All right. Now let's talk about endings. There's a few ideas you can do, and typically there's this tag ending sort of thing that you can watch a singer or the sax player, but I had in mind what's the name of this song? Days of Wine and Roses. Read this song. So right near the end, it goes. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing. Then this ending. Then repeat this again. Then last time. And you're done, right? So this is how you'd play with a singer, right? The singer goes dee da 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 do dee. Again, dee da 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 do dee dee. Last time, dee da 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 do dee doom da. So what I did is a tag ending, and I basically repeated the last 4 chords, but I did this 3 times. So 3, 6, 2, 5. Do it again. 3, 6, 2, 5. Last time. 3, 6, 2. Slow down. 5, and play the 1 chord. There's a whole bunch of tricks you can do if you're playing not with singers, but if you're playing with sax or trumpet or piano. You can avoid landing on the 1 chord, so to speak. So that would be the example I do. Ba ba da da do dee, dee da 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 do dee, be ba 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 bo be boom ba. That's 1/2 step above the 1 chord, and then resolve to the 1 chord. That's just a tiny little interesting trick you can do at the end, if everyone's on the same page, of course. So tag ending is very powerful. I remember Dave Turner in Montreal saying people use this tag ending on probably Rhythm Change or something, and they played 3-6-2-5, 3-6-2-5, 3-6-2-5, and everyone would start taking solos on 3-6-2-5, and sometimes they would last even longer than the tune itself. Just that tag ending to go 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 tag tag tag. So this is an interesting thing you might want to do, and it's not any more complicated than any materials in the song. Keep it simple, keep tagging. And lastly, just a little tip for guys that are more advanced maybe. Say you're playing a song, and I'm not going to pick any song in particular, but I'm going to say your last chord for your tune is C major. So D minor 7, G, and then you're ending on C, right? And for this, there's a little tip to kind of bring back the ending and follow smoothly into a back cycling. And what you can do is start on the chord that we would call sharp 4. Actually, what we're doing is we are starting a tritone up from the center. So we have C, we go, that's F sharp, right? And you're going to play F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to B7 flat 9 to E minor 7, or E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 to D minor 7 to G7. So what you do, say you have this ending, and maybe not any of the tunes. I'm tempted to use Stepped Out of a Dream right now, but I won't. So say you play this song and you comp, and you're done. Then you go. So all I did here was started from F sharp minor 7 flat 5 to B7 to E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 to D minor 7 to G7. So actually you're back cycling starting from a tritone up, so you're playing half of the octave down. So you could say it as doing the secondary 2-5 to 3, which is E minor, then doing the secondary 2-5 to 2, which is D minor. So you're pulling off a Joe pass, but you're doing this for the purpose of ending sometimes on a ballad. Also, last tip on ballads, case in point, you can use the time during the 5 chord just before resolving to play some sort of a cadenza. So let's talk about maybe, what's that song? Body and Soul, right? Sorry, it's been a while. Dee da da ba do dee da da do 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 da da da, something like that. And before Buddha ba da da dee da, you use that chord that is, in this case, it's an A flat 7, so it's a dominant chord, and you use that chord to play some sort of a line or riff or solo that's out of time, that's just yours, and we call this a cadenza. And I'll encourage you to research a great ballads player. Chet Baker is a good example, but sax players mostly will do this. Sonny Rollins is an example. You'll just take the moment and go, wait, we're on the 5 chord, we're not done yet, I'm going to solo on this, I'm going to make a musical statement before we go out and actually resolve that 1 chord. So that's something you can use as an ending for your standards. On that note, that's it for podcast number 36 on jazzguitarlessons.net. Improve your jazz guitar playing with a real teacher. I hope you've enjoyed. Feel free to poke me with questions on this, with comments on this page under, in the form under. You can also send me emails, mark@jazzguitarlessons.net, and I'll be happy to answer your questions and help you. And perhaps if you have good topics you want to select for the next podcast, I'll be more than happy to take your suggestions into consideration. All right, so I'll talk to you soon. See you next time. Bye.